What's up everyone, Allan Morrow here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I create a nice thick Trance Pluck in Vital. The synth is completely free, so if you do want to check it out, you can follow along. But before we get into the video, if you'd like to hit that subscribe and notification bell, if you're looking for future tips like this so that you don't miss any. That'd be really helpful. And if you would like to support the channel, the best way to do that is head over to allanmorrowstudios.com, where there's plenty of start to finish courses, sound banks, templates, MIDI packs, and everything you can think of to help you with your trance productions. So let's get straight in. Okay, so what I've got here is Vital. It's just with the initiated preset. And I've got some MIDI in the background here just to play. Okay, cool. So not very inspiring right now, but it'll sound nice when it's finished. Okay, so I'm just going to use the saw wave that's already there, the initiated oscillator here, which is just a saw. I'm going to leave it exactly pretty much how it is. Let's bring this unison down. Use one voice. Now, before I go any further with this, I like to add in some delay. Right, let's go with a stereo delay. I'm also going to change this, I think, to dotted on the right-hand side there. I'm going to turn that down a touch. Right, okay, and the next thing I'm going to do, this can be tweaked later on if I feel it's needed, but just whenever I'm writing or sound designing, trying to design sounds without any effects on them sometimes can be really kind of like just too dry and too uninspiring for me, and it just instantly, just a bit of delay and a bit of reverb can really help me sort of get those sounds sounding nice straight away. So right, okay, so a bit of reverb here. Let's turn the mix up there. I'm going to add a bit of delay to the reverb so that the initial hit can come through. I'm going to turn the chorus down. Turn the time up on the reverb as well. Maybe not that much. Okay, that's all I need to do for the moment. Let's go back into here. Okay, so what I want to do here now is, first off, I want to shape the actual envelope, the amp envelope, and I want to do that over here in envelope 1. So what I'm going to do is going to bring the sustain down, bring the decay down there to make it nice and plucky. I'll leave a little bit of release. And that's okay for the moment. Then what I want to do is I want to come over to filter 1 and I want to turn this on here. Now what I want to do with this filter is I want it to open up to an envelope. So I use envelope 2. You could use envelope 1 if you wanted to, but I like to have a little bit more control over the filter versus the actual amp envelope. So I'm going to drag this over here to the filter. Now what I want from the filter is I want it to open up quite plucky, so I'm going to have a fast attack. I'm going to have a short decay time. I'm going to bring the sustain down. I'm going to bring the release down a little bit as well. So what this is going to do, it's going to open up the filter to this shape. So a nice plucky. And the beauty of Vital is you can actually see what it's doing here as well. So now I can tell it how much to kind of open up the filter here. So I can close the filter more, but I can then get it to open up more if I wanted to. So it initially starts here and then opens up further. And that's how we get that kind of nice plucky sound there. See, when I go too high, it sounds a little bit cheap. So I want to try and get something like a bit like a nice thick Vandit style pluck. And then obviously with the decay time here, we can decide on how long we want it to be open for. I think it sounds quite nice there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do here is I'm actually going to turn the drive up on this. Now, what I am going to do, and actually I'll do it in a little bit when I change the velocity. Actually, I'll change the velocity now. Let me just quickly go into the actual MIDI itself, and I'm just going to come in here because this is where I'm going to get a little bit of my character from here. I'm just going to come into the MIDI. I'm going to humanize this a little bit. So I'm just going to go humanize, and I'm going to change up the velocity. I'll keep it on the grid using the position here, but I'm going to change the velocity up a little bit so I can get a little bit of movement, a little bit of extra character inside the synth when I start to map things like the cutoff and stuff to the velocity. I'll keep the note length exactly where it is, and I'll just go select and operate. There we go. So now it's slightly hitting at different velocities. Okay, let's turn that off. Now let's go back into Vital. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to get the velocity, and I'm going to map it to this drive so that each hit now has a different bit of drive to it, giving it a little bit of different character each hit. So I'm just going to... Now, the other thing I'm going to do as well is I'm also going to map the velocity to the cutoff. So each hit that's slightly different in the velocity is now going to trigger the filter slightly differently too. So one might be more open than the other, etc., etc. Just gives that bit more of a sort of natural feel inside the pluck rather than it sounding very static. This is just a quick announcement to let you know that there is many, many more sound design tutorials over at AllanMorrowStudios.com, in-depth sound design courses, and everything you can think of to help you with your trance productions. Let's get straight back to the video. And I can tell it how much I want that to kind of react to it. Now, the next thing I want to map to the velocity, or what I like to do is map the velocity also to the resonance here. Now, I don't want it to do it that much because it's way too drastic and I don't want it to sound like an acid sound, but again, just a little tiny bit. These little changes, I think, are what really kind of help your sound design. Nice. Okay, cool. So the next thing I want to do, actually no, let's remove the velocity for the drive a second. That one, yep, bypass that. I'm actually going to use the drive with the random. Let's do it like this, so it's a bit more random. I guess the velocity is just as random as well, but let's just use this as well. So you've got this random envelope here, and it's just going to basically create the drive being... It's going to make the drive random each hit, so you've got this little visual representation here. That's the beauty of Vital. More synths need this visual representation, I feel. So you can see each hit there is getting a slightly different amount of drive, which is going to just give them a little bit of extra character to the sound there. Okay, so what do I want to do next? Now, what I might do as well as this is also map, say, an LFO, something like an LFO to the filter 2. And let's just change the speed on this to like seconds, for example. So what I can do here is I can get a bit random with this, and it's just again about giving the slight changes in that filter. Now you can see it's only triggering to here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to slow it down or speed up a bit. Let's go up a bit more there. That down. Let's bring this one down a bit as well. So just making that filter react a little bit different each time. And they're very, very small changes. But like if you're really into your detailed sounds, I feel like, you know, these are the types of things that make a difference when it comes to that real professional sound. Just going to turn this up a little bit, 1 second. Okay, let's just have a little play around with these envelopes now as well. Let's go in here a sec. Okay, cool. I'm going to bring it up a little bit, actually. I'm going to filter down this reverb a touch, just to give it that a little bit more of a darker sort of feel to it, but still have the reverb in there. Let's bring the mix up a bit. And that is basically all I would do for a really nice thick sounding pluck sound. Obviously, there's other different things that you can do as well here. You could, for example, add in another oscillator and maybe try to add like a little bit of a knock to it by using a different sort of sound. So let's have a listen to what we've got here. We could add like a brown noise. Let's put this through to filter 2. Let's turn filter 2 on. And let's just turn that one off a sec. Let's just go bandpass. Pitch this down. Now what I'm also going to do is envelope here. I'm going to map this to the volume of this one. What I just want to do here is just change the shape. To get a bit of a knocking sound. Again, this is just another example of what you can do here. And we could filter through some of these now. And we could pick what position we want that. Let's see what other filters there are here. I think I'm going to go with the band pass because I can really pick which sort of frequency band that I want to kind of the knock to have. So you could do that as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. As I say, very basic pluck, but there's a little few things that I do to kind of just take it up a level. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.